Hello, people. Hello, everybody. Whoever shows up or watch this later. This is just a little live stream. I'm actually finishing my lunch. And I just had this idea of give a little conclusion after what I believe I'll finish my year and close the channel for this year, like meaning like that I might not do any interview until next year. Hello. Hi, Marcy. I'm doing great. I'm doing okay. I felt a little bit down the day before the interview. The day before yesterday, that was such an important interview with Yaron Brook, and I was super happy, excited to do the interview. I guess you guys that watched might have seen how excited I was, and we spent a few minutes before starting. I even came and made a little live before talking about, and after it, I felt, that is wow, good accomplishment. But also, of course, every time I talk to someone, um, and we confront ideas and we talk about things, we agree and disagree. I think more after that, and there is something that is not completely new after Yaron, but it's something that has been like stuck on my head for quite a while, like more recently when I tried to talk more about philosophy and objective morals and all this conversation about some type of evolutive empathy that we feel towards each other naturally, and we feel like something special about humans. It's like, no, we see this in other species. So I've always get stuck on thinking of those things: humanism and objectivism, individualism. And then studying those last days for the interview with Yaron, I was thinking that, maybe there is not such a ready thing for me. Maybe it was just like religion, like I've tried to believe in many things. I went to different churches, I read different Bibles. I really wanted to find God and believe there was something bigger and supernatural over us. And I just studied many little religions until I figure out that I was just picking and choosing. And I decided to get free of that and start studying more science. And with philosophy, I wanted to answer the philosophical existential questions and moral questions that everybody has. And that way I like read a bunch of things, probably not enough of any of philosopher, but and then recently, or I mean like the couple years, the last couple years, I've bought more books in philosophy, and I felt at some point that, I don't think Ayn Rand taught me anything. I felt like we just end up coming out with kind of a similar ideas, and somehow we did not meet in life, but, happily throughout the books, I kind of felt like, oh, you know what? I think very well, very similar of her, and I don't think she taught me anything. I just feel like I met someone that think the same as I do, but probably not completely. Like we all, there's nobody that I believe there's nobody that is 100% representative of anyone, and that is what is the beauty of being an individual. That we are all unique in our way. So there's no way, this idea of like a clone on ideas. That's like someone that I will agree with every. I really don't believe that is such a thing. And thinking of that and going through the philosophy and trying to find a philosopher or a philosophy that explains my way of seeing life the way I would like. I always said, like, when I was trying to find a religion, it's like one day maybe I will have to open my own church and write my own Bible and have my own God explained as a super a powerful and loving, but maybe not caring, or maybe not so powerful, but very empathizing. But he is really doesn't, to make sense with the word. In that way, I feel the same about philosophy. I feel like I have not reached the point that I've found. Maybe I just need to study more philosophy. And I have felt recently that I just wanted to sow a little. I want to just to sow like uh, those blankets that grandma makes, like with little patches, pieces of thing. I think I can put humanism, objectivism, individualism all together and make sense of how objective moral is possible and explain the definition of what I try to mean with other philosophy. And now I'm reaching a point like recently that is like maybe there is no such a thing. Maybe I cannot make sense with put all them together, because a lot of people are going to come, for example, objectivism, and say like, but this is not true objectivism. So I don't know, with my idea of like start writing more or finish some of my books and maybe write on other areas, I feel like I'm going to probably start writing my manual for a better life. And I'm not gonna do like just like Ayn Rand did not want to make a Randism. I don't want to make Fannyism or Anzaism. I want to make something that is based on logic and reason, and that can improve everybody's life if you just are objective. But maybe not. Maybe it's not objectivism. Okay, and I'm not trying to diminish the objectivism in any way, because in any ways, because I love objectivism and I think it is such a great philosophy. But I kind of feel a little bit, let's say, I don't actually know what that is, because for an objective or someone that, for me, objectivism, it is the seeking the best of yourself, and that in a idea of almost the platonic ideal world, like that is not such a thing that maybe is reachable in life. Maybe something that you always need to mirror yourself and try to reach, and to never be like it to point, like to give yourself a score of 10, for example. Is like, I will never give myself a score of 10, because if I give myself 10, I don't have where to improve. So I will always give myself like, you did great, but it's 8 or 9, because you still have a lot to work and you can still improve. You still can do better. We are humans and we are susceptible to mistakes, and we are committing those mistakes all the time. There is no point where you're ready and then you start just scoring right and 100%, So that's one of the things that I believe I can bring something different than objectivism, with, of course, the base of it, but also to not define that, things that would not make sense for objectivists, like charity or some type of helping others, is something natural. I want to make sense. I want to explain how that is something that is natural. It is not natural to love everybody the same. It is not natural to love people unconditionally. Okay, that is not natural. We like people, it's like a feedback. It's action and reaction. We like people that are nice to us. Oh, and that, in a simple example, is family members that don't even consider each other members anymore because they don't have a good relationship. So yeah, if there was such a unconditional love, we would not see families breaking up for stupid reasons. Okay, not only the important, but for stupid reasons would never happen. Let's say like that. It's just me trying to find an argument that would disprove my point. Okay, but now what I actually faced a little bit also in the conversation with Yara, and I feel like maybe next year my plans will be to review all my interviews, review everything that I wanted to ask, review things that I asked and did not come out the way I expected, or the person did not understand, or reshape what I did. Because, for example, for me, what I would expect, and then this is totally on my side. It's a mistake on me, because this is created by expectations and not, nobody owes me that. Okay. For example, with Yaron yesterday, I was just expecting that from an objectivist side, we would be able to talk about all the evidence that seemed to show up towards USA election frauds. To just dismiss the evidence as it was done by the judge, that he claimed that, like, oh, they just like it, the evidence are not valid. No, the process were dismissed before even looking at the evidence. And that is my point. It's like, if you actually tell me there is such a thing that, it is a important evidence for the case of God, I don't know. And that's what I talk about being an atheist. I'm open to evidence, not to personal experience and another holy book, because a lot of people have those claims. Okay, but if there is such an evidence, and I'm talking about God really showing up doing something, or something crazy really happening, that maybe would even uh, I would even like not trust my eyes if something so crazy happened. But like I don't I don't want to go that down that rabbit hole. I'm just like imagining that like I'm not one side or the other. I just want to know if there is one reality. How can we understand it, or how can we make sure the reality is like this? How can I make sure this microphone is in front of me and is not a carrot? Uh, and my question about the evidence of the USA election frauds, the frauds in the USA election, is if there was such a, like, if there was someone trying to steal the elections, no matter which side, let's say that was Biden and Trump doing at the same time, let's say like this, okay? They both eating on the under the table, let's say like this, they both stealing. So they, let's say that in the reality they both stole a bunch of votes. Now we just want to have the proper results. So for me, it doesn't matter who stole the elections. I just believe that no matter who did, it's not something that they're gonna raise their hands and say like, I'm sorry, I did. That is a type of crime that there is no confession. We don't expect, even if they get caught, that they would admit such a thing. So for me, it's like, if it's a little smoke on someone trying to hide the fire, you would have to go there and touch the spot and verify that is at least hot and it had a fire there, and not just like, yeah, there was a smoke, of course there's a fire. No, I'm talking about verifying, go and check the evidence, and not just like, oh my gosh, there was a fraud in the elections and let's cancel. No, it's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying like, if there was such a crime of fraud in the election, whoever did will not come out, will not bring up that they did. So we might need a little bit more investigation. Of course, we should be skeptic about the proofs, because yeah, it could be fake. Yes, that's why we're going to examine and not just throw it through the window. Okay, so I'm not Trump or Biden. Just again, I'm going to say that I'm just curious to know who fucking won the election for real. Okay, and when people just say shh, let it go, it makes me more curious, because then I think they are hiding something. Okay, not the specific or whoever, but do you not understand how lying and getting people cheating on things work? Are we really expecting Biden or Trump team come out and say like, we did the bad thing, sorry, here the proper number of votes? Or are we gonna have to find a little crumbs of in the way that criminals are caught by the police and investigation? We find crumbs, we investigate, and then we found out that there was a huge thing. Fucking 4 years of Trump being president was trying to find a collusion, Russian collusion, that apparently there has nothing, because they could not find or frame him in that. But now we have a bunch of popping up like difference even on the ballots, and everybody's like, shh, there's nothing. No, the judge said was not. It's like, what about the bias that we know every human are able to apply, saying that they're doing a proper method? Oh, there's no such a thing. And that just makes me think that maybe is such a thing, that AI will be much more trustworthy, will be at least more honest on applying the principles, because apparently people cannot hold on principles. People are like, wow, I have those principles, but when is my friend, like, that is the problem. Okay, and the problem that we actually have talked here, and I feel bad because I know people will dismiss like, oh, if you want proof one of the evidence is fake, let's throw all the evidence in the garbage. Of course nothing is valid. It's like, no. And that's why I'm afraid of people say like, well, you're trying to sell objectivist, but even the most objective person that you consider is not being objective at this moment, and then after that I sat, I thought about philosophy, I thought about myself, and it's like, you know what, maybe I'll stop this idea of like me interviewing people. I have interviewed quite a good amount of people. Maybe I don't stop interviewing people, but maybe that's not my main thing anymore. Maybe I don't want to just sit here and hear other people talking, because I already do that quite a lot. Maybe now I want to share a little bit of my ideas and maybe confront the people that I actually watch. Not confront, fight. People have a bad idea of what is debating. Debating doesn't need to be fighting or hating other people with different opinions. It should be something just like, let me see what you have to present that I don't know yet. And maybe together, maybe it's like a puzzle. With these two pieces together, we can make something better. And I hope. Of course, I still have a huge list of people, of guests that I still want to re-interview, and people that I want to interview one day, and I'll still work for that. But maybe now I will start popping up more often and start bringing my perspective of things. I would like to, of course, the conversation with Yara mainly on USA elections frauds. Uh, Shaked my bases on everything I've heard from a lot of other people. I would love to interview Stephen Crowder, but he's huge. He's Canadian, living in the United States, and very Trump supporter. And I watched his video talking about how he himself had voted. He didn't require, but apparently he voted from another state that's not his. And Danny Arenbrook just said like, he is a liar, this is fake. So I would love to interview him even before, but now more even for this type of conversation. I don't think we should dismiss people, just call them names. I have talked a lot against cancel culture of just calling people bad names. He's evil, he's a liar, he's Nazi, he's this, he's Hitler support, he's Trump supporter or whatever, and just dismiss people. I don't think that is the right way to do, and I'm going to keep going on the way that I believe is the right way to do it. Okay, and I think it's not closing the door to anybody, is to open the doors and try to talk and find a golden and build a golden bridge in between the different sides, this split, this gap that exists. We need to close it. And the only way is to talk to people that we disagree. So I hope I can talk to Crowder. I hope I can talk to Ben Shapiro one day. There's a lot of other people on that I have talked before, and I want to talk again. For example, mainly on the U.S. elections and this evidence of frauds and everything. I would love to talk again with Fleckus to see what we actually have liable and consistent people that really follow that, because they are actually Trump supporters and they might be following it even closer. I regret to not have done a video in the night of the election, the Sunday night of the election, when I went to bed pretty late, because I was following and I was feeling quite annoyed by the way that they accelerated the counting, the voting counting in the votes counting in the end. And I remember going to bed saying like, well, it seems like Trump is going to be tight, because there are few places where there's like 6 or a little bit, 10% vote missing to be counted. But that one, if you make the math, even if 100% of the 6 less percent votes go to Biden, will not make. And then in the next day was very different. And I was like, this makes no sense. Anybody that understands a little bit of math percentage knows how to do a basic. No, that was not possible. So it was weird for me. For me, was the first evidence, or like first, not, let's say not evidence, because evidence, it would be something that if I had made the video I could show you. So for me was a little bit of like, it's fishy. Okay, then we saw what came. I don't want to create here any team, pro or con, one or the other politician. It doesn't matter, because for me, Brazilian, living in Canada, talking about politics is just something that is interesting because everybody's talking about. But definitely is something, I guess, everybody is really talking about. And we would just, I guess, who is not curious to know the truth? Who is just like, I don't care, I just want my team to win? Bet there is a lot of people, but remember that it's not majority of United States, neither Trump, neither Biden. It was like a third, and there is another 30%, another third that we don't know, 1/3, or 33% that we don't know. It might be split in having like a little bit of everything, and we did not even get their votes or to know what they think. I would say that the best solution would be for what? Do like Brazilians do, a second turn. Anytime you have two people really close and there is a third party that took some percentage that could make a difference, we run the second turn with the only two major candidates. So a second turn, just Biden and Trump. And the people that vote libertarians would have to pick a side or not going to vote. And now we have the chance to recount. Okay, to recount, because even the recounting, and now I did not want to debate elections frauds yesterday with Yara because we only had an hour. So, but I wanted to say the things that I didn't say during the conversation. That is like, which type of recounting? Because now we're going to talk about epistemology of how is this counting again is going to happen. Because if you're going to just count, and there are people claiming that there are a bunch of ballots that were dropped illegally, are we going to be counting the fake ballots? Are we going to count the illegal votes? These ballots, this, like I mentioned, 700,000 to 800,000 votes that should not be there because they were not registered before and they showed up when the counting was done. Are we going to count those fake votes again? Because no, that's why the process was so complicated, and it has been so complicated to even follow it. Because yeah, there was asking to recount, but then we not just going to recount, we're going to check the signatures, the addresses, the identity, if there is such a thing. And in USA, there is a bunch of things you have to put on your ballot. And guess what? There were way too many that were from addresses from UPS, that is like mail post offices. Post offices voting in name of nobody because there was no name. So there was no signature, there was no, and there was no signature, there was no gender, and the address is from the post office. Yes, there were things like this. So I just would love to have a meeting with Nuance Bro or Fleckas or Cernovich, someone that is Trump supporter, to bring up like, okay, what can we trust? What can we not trust? And it's really true that it's going to end up like just poof, I don't care if they end up like, oh no, it is Biden, the president, and legitimately. And I say, great. That's what we wanted. We just wanted to not have the same 4 years bitching that we had before, And what's funny, when they think every time they keep proclaiming that the elections are done and nobody has this authority to do this, neither Yaron Brook or New York Times or whatever, okay? The election is not done. But if it was done and they try to claim, and like you can see Bill Maher talk about like, let's drop the guns, let's lower the weapons or the rocks, drop the rocks. What? After 4 years attacking Trump, that it was Russia collusion, now we have Hunter Biden being protected by mainstream media with nobody talking about his connection with China, with Ukraine, with whatever, Qatar. Wow, it's weird, And so I don't know, I'm very curious from someone that doesn't even get affected by that. I'm just really curious. And I think people from the United States should be even more, because it matters to them. It really matters. If it was my vote, and if it was my democracy, like in that sense of like, it's my nation, and the democracy it's running the risk of losing its integrity, and we don't know what's going to happen next. It is pretty interesting that people would be just sitting and not caring if it's an honest election, and just care if it's like, wow, the only thing I want in the end is my guy to win. That's sad. Okay, but I'm talking way too much, and You guys let me know what you think. No, don't feel shy. You guys can come and say like, oh no, I know this. Send me links, send me stuff. I love debate. I would love to have anybody to talk about this, bringing more content. Just like I mentioned with maybe Nate talks to you. They are more like a leftist, more like a Biden support. So maybe I talk to him and he brings me a lot of stuff on the Zoom, in a Zoom meeting, and then we make a show and share with you. Because I guess if you guys are curious like me and feel a little, I even feel a little bit lost after talking to him, and he's saying like that is all made up. It's like, really, am I the one believing in conspiracy theory, or you did not hear of any of these stories, or if you heard, you just threw in the window because you just want Trump to leave? And wait a minute, Trump would not be bad. And by the way, I'm contest this right now. Trump would not be bad for another 4 years. And there is no point of saying like for sure it's better Trump to go away, because it's not true. The evidence show that Trump was a good president for the last 4 years. So in between Trump, that was already better than anybody else, or Biden, that we don't know. No, Trump would be better. Okay, would not be better for the people because I'm talking way too much about Trump. Okay, Trump is only bad for people like Bill Maher, that isn't a smart guy, but suffers from Trump derangement syndrome or Trump derangement anxiety. Okay, it is a diagnosis, and people go completely unreasonable, emotional when it comes to like, you guys can come bring whatever criticism because I'm not for him or against him, but the people that are against him, they just have like this blockage, this cognitive dissonance, that like, oh my gosh, I cannot say that he's good, that he would be good, or that I just need to see him away. And it's funny because in the sense, I would like to talk about Trump in the sense of meritocracy. He's a fucking successful guy. Okay, everything he tried to do, he did very well. So why would, like, it's, hey Andrew, how are you doing? Be welcome. I was going to say thank you for coming, but you just arrived. So welcome. I'm having lunch talking about the interviews and about perspectives of the past and future plans. But understand that I'm not promising anything, because plans for me are made to be changed when we cannot accomplish. So I have an agenda that maybe and no, I should not say agenda because it sounds like propaganda and stuff like. My agenda is to bring you something interesting, and if I'm just promising that if I cannot get so many people to talk to me, I'm not going to be disappearing. I'm going to take a little vacation for the rest of the year. Okay, you guys all have a great Christmas and holidays, and I'll be back with more interviews for sure, but might be showing up more often live, just to poop all over the place. Okay, that's honestly just to come bring my opinions that are very unpopular. So I don't expect to have that much support, and or even to change people's mind. I'm just here to really say whatever I think. If there is anybody that think like me, like the way I said, if you guys end up to coincidentally think like me or end up thinking like me at some point and feel comfortable to follow and like and share and subscribe and everything, I guess we can have really nice conversations. And I bet more people just like me will be able to come and stay in the channel, because we probably not going to be popular because most of people don't feel comfortable of talking about some subjects, and we just need to make a nice place where we can show other people that it's fine to disagree. It's totally fine. Thank you. Oh, you say so. Yeah, that I'm saying some very interesting thing. I was actually saying how not we look, there are a few things I wrote here, and I'm not gonna make this like the balance or perspective of Yaron Brooks interview, but there was so much more I wanted to talk to him, and I hope we can really book a conversation, go check his books, okay? um, Free Market Revolution, how Iran's ideas can end big government, okay? And I wanted to ask more things, so I'm not gonna just bring stuff here that have no answers, okay? Because some of the things we actually talked in the interview. But yeah, this is my little notes, so you guys see if anybody wants to pause here to see. So I have a bunch of little notes. Yeah? It's not that I'm like, sometimes I don't write much because it's to be just a conversation. Here I wanted to be like more of a serious interview. And in the objectivism, I only like brushed because it's just so long and big and there's so much to talk about. So one thing I really wanted to point is, and I remember again, is the idea of altruism and selfishness. Okay, it's something that we didn't have much time, and we almost like disagree because Yaron thinks that giving to people or charity is something that only gives away. So now I'm going to be able to lay down a little bit better my idea. If you guys watched that, is I disagree. And I'm gonna become now more like Scott Adams. Okay, every day I get more close to him. I already drink my naked coffee on OnlyFans. I'm not gonna try to do a real coffee like he does. Go check Real Coffee with Scott Adams. Okay, he's really good. But I do feel that I'm very much in common with him, man, the way sometimes I think or I speak, and I want to start doing something more like that, bringing more my perspectives. So my idea of the altruism is that, yeah, definitely no altruism in objectivism, but it is for me objectively truth, okay? That we feel better when we do good things. And I don't think it's because we got taught to do it, okay? I don't think altruism is something natural, intuitive, okay? Or it is something naturally intuitive. It's not something that if you think too hard, it's like, what am I gonna win? What am I gonna get? But of course, you only not gonna be able to understand what I'm saying if you don't understand how your body works, okay? And we were wired in a way that we don't control. Our brain, it's an amazing machine that controls everything else in this huge machine that is the body, okay? But we don't have control of the brain. So when we do good things and when someone smiles or someone tells you pretty, it gives you a like, all these little endorphins, social endorphins that are results of human interactions, they give us a really good feeling. That's why we love the internet. We love Instagram and posting things and that is not being vain. That's being human. Okay. Some people, oh, that girl, she likes, she posts things, she wants to be. We all want to be relevant. And that actually is some point that I heard from Scott Adams last week. Just him admitting and actually pointing, showing this back. It's like, we in one of the things that I would say is like that is not natural. Be altruistic because we know ultimately in the most honest situation, like your life in risk, you should, it is natural that you would pick yourself. Your self-existence is the most important thing. So altruism to benefit other people over you, it's not natural, okay? But understand that the altruism of giving things to people and being nice to people, it is selfish. It is not altruistic. It's because you feel good. You do it because you feel good. It's the virtue signaling that we talk about online. And it happens all the time. And everybody does that. We're not happy to just give things away. We need to put a plate, in the door or on the wall and say like, oh, look at how much money I gave away. That, you want to help someone and record that you're doing that so you get the feedback of other people. appreciating your good actions. So this is not altruistic, okay? And that's what is my point. It's like we are doing that for some gain. The gain, it is the value, the gain is always what is the selfishness thing wants. That doesn't mean you need to do bad things to get good things. You don't need to bash everybody down to feel that you're good and smart and intelligent. You can just study and be smart and intelligent, and you can work out and look pretty. You can, study and be smart. You can always improve yourself. You don't need to push the other ones down. That is the thing. Mainly with the altruism. Is that mainly with the altruism inside the being selfish? It's never it is altruistic if you're bleeding to give someone blood, okay? To cut yourself and bleed more than you need, than to just go there, collect the blood, and go. I gave a bad analogy, but there are good. Just like he said, the methods can make totally difference, because it's how you do it. You don't. If you look for my fans that now on OnlyFans that want to give me stuff, I tell them, if you're in a bad financial situation, don't do it. I don't want anybody to be fucked up to get me well. That's definitely not my point. Okay. And that's why I'm just so pissed with so many churches that keep telling those miserable families they are gonna do better if they pray, while they are taking their money, their house, their business, their stuff. Okay, because that's not helping people. Okay, but I think so. I think we are able to be good for our own interest. We are, okay? We are all also need to watch out if we're just being good to other people and not good to ourselves. Okay? You don't want to give everything and end up fucked up. That is definitely not the intention of because when you do that, when you talk about be good, be your best, you would be like, okay, I'll study, I'll work out, I'll take care of my health. Everybody knows that need to exercise, and eat well, sleep well, drink liquids, keep hydrated, stretch at least, a little walk. It's not so like so complicated that we don't know. We do. Then when we are in our best, we have some money in the bank, we have our house, we have our business, we have our car. We feel like, what is next? You start looking around, but always need to be built on the individual level. See how you improve yourself, improving yourself, being better. And I mean, like, you don't need to give charity, just be nice. Yeah, when I could not give money, buy my shirts to support the channels I wanted to support, I used to message them and say, like, I can translate things for Portuguese. I will share your videos. I will give lots of likes. I will help somehow. That charitable move, you help someone and you feel better when you do too. You don't think you're just giving away. You feel better when you interact with the people and you're good. But it's all you need to build yourself. When I can't do anything but being polite, you already making your environment better. Everybody knows those super poor people that their house is so clean, they are so polite, and everybody, wow. Yes, these are the people that are moral, good people, and they will be like this no matter which situation. And that's what I'm talking about. There is no, oh, I lost everything. I had money, now I lost everything. Now, because I don't have money anymore, or because I'm fucked now, I'm gonna go out, gonna kill and steal and say, no, this person never had morals. It's not the environment or whatever made it. No. Oh, it triggered? Yeah, it could be. It was the trigger, but you understand that this person was always the same person. It did not change. He was never moral just because he didn't do it. He was always able to do bad things. And that's what we should build. We should build to be good no matter what. It's not because this is called being opportunistic. Nobody was looking, so I'll go and steal because I could. I was like, what? So you're immoral. You are the definition of immoral. You have no morality. You're just faking, pretending when someone is watching. And tell me that most of people like this, I don't agree. You know why? Because they believe in a supernatural being that is watching them all the time. No, they don't. They don't believe it. If that was true, the prisons would not be full of religious people because they believe God was watching, huh? So what is that? Is the cognitive dissonance to say they believe something that they don't truly believe? I don't know. I really have way too many questions. But definitely is something that I guess we are, it's going to be the conversation for the next decade or century, you know, to be able to find objective morals and find out that people were not driven by supernatural beings. They have their brains, and the way their brains is wired, the way they use the principles and the basics, that the things they hold as beliefs, is probably what gonna make them behave in a way or the other. If they use reason, or if they are driven by emotions, and if they feel something and they think that is a message from or a sign from some supernatural being, you know. So there's a lot to talk. I'm not going to spend much more time of yours or mine. I have to go, I have stuff to do, and I know you guys have to. I see you later. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. And yeah, see you guys next video. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, great weekend, huh? Thanks God this Friday. Oh, and I usually make the thanks God this. It's Friday because I'm the goddess here. Okay. I'm the creator of this channel. So I'm the goddess here. And I'm like God. Okay. I'm always online, but I'm busy with something more important. Okay. So if I don't answer right away, yeah, I will try to reply later. You guys have a great weekend. Bye.